Good evening, folks. Welcome to my channel, and we're on the swivel at the sports bar. So I got a nice little package for you set up. This is season 1, episode 24, and thanks for chiming in. And we're gonna talk some sports. And just like always, with all these other weeks, I got a nice little bundle, and we're gonna kick it back and forth. And just bear with me for a second, and let's talk. I may have some folks coming on to join me later on. And when they do, we'll kick it back and forth. All right. So to get started, we already talking about welcome to everybody. And just like I always do, here's my disclaimer for anything that we say here, any videos that I use, it's all fair use. And we go. The first thing we're going to talk about is, let me do a couple of things here and change this avatar, and we'll go to the next thing. All right. Well, I always talk about UFL football. I like talking about that a little bit. I have some of the games. I was never a big USFL fan or XFL fan, but for UFL, I like this merger, and so I've been following the league. So they're on week 7, and so week 7, it's we got the scores. I keep updating the scores. We know the divisions, and I like to look at some of the highlights. So we're gonna look at fair use. We're gonna play a few of the highlights. I want to see if you guys enjoy the highlights. Week 7.
62 for J.J. Molson with a kick on its way. Good for J.J. Molson. Defense player of the year. Then you go to special teams player of the year. It has to be one of these kickers, whether it's Ryan. And now 3rd down for the Brahmas with pressure coming. Goes down. Ball is out. And who's got it? Houston's got another takeaway. Around the offensive tackle. Mind you, a backup offensive tackle. He goes with that chop move, and then he goes and attacks the football. Chris, USL Defensive Player of the Year in 2022 with the Philadelphia Stars. His dad played 13 years.
Now they already hit him with 2 personal fouls. This one, first and goal inside the 10.
At the 7, here's Jacob Sailors throwing the block, bouncing off tacklers, and into the end zone at the left.
You got a little bit of a fake right there, and it's a little toss sweep. Great job by the outside offensive line. Jared Jones-Smith, 75.
That guy, the receiver in the backfield. Habibi Likio is that receiver. Cook is on the move. Taken down. Ball's on the ground. Picked up by Arlington. He fumbles out of bounds. It's inside the 25. Football for Sparty. Back to Colbert. Colbert with a little lead. Still up. To the pop. To the 40. 30. Catch me if you can. Come back. Will he get another ball? No. But the damage is done. Inside the 10. 53-yard stretch. That's outside zone.
You gotta score that, buddy. You gotta score that.
Come in and deliver the blow right there. But he doesn't wrap up. He doesn't take him to the ground. Great cover. Neutral zone infraction is why you stop the play. Kukas to the air. It's picked off as it bounces off his receiver to Joe Powell. Powell on the run. Making guys miss down the sideline. Trying to tiptoe and he goes out of bounds. Ball just finds itself right into the arms of Powell. He's just going in to make a routine tackle.
All right, I just wanted to give you guys a little taste of what's going on in the UFL. I keep saying USFL, it's just UFL. And I think the game is exciting. So it's just getting you warmed up for the regular season, as usual, if you like football, so we're just gonna, make sure that everybody gets a little bit of taste of what's going on out there, which I know you guys do. So what's next? What else next we have on the docket? All right, so here's the league. And of course, we still have the Stallions 7-0. Everybody else is picking up the rear. And, so there go your little taste of the UFL. Hey, listen, the league is going on. They seem to be getting decent ratings. The league seems to be a nice amalgamation of the both leagues that went defunct. So together they're doing better than they did apart. So there you have it. UFL football, week 7. So off-season NFL talk. What do we have for that? Well, Netflix is in the sports business now. We already know that Netflix is going to air the fight between Tyson and Jake Paul. So they want to get into more sports. And this is a smart move by Netflix, of course, right? So they want to show, right now they got a contract to show 2 games on Christmas Day. They're paying $150 million for each game to air those games on NFL. 2 games. They're paying $300 million to air 2 games. Can you dig it? That's some serious money. So I don't know who they're going to hire to speak. I don't know if they're going to just simulcast somebody else's broadcast, or they're going to just have their own people in the sports booth. But that's what's going on there. So Netflix right now, for most of us who have a subscription to Netflix, we're going to have some NFL football on Netflix come next season. Okay, so in the Super Bowl and not Super Bowl, but Monday night football coverage, RG3 is out. He's fired from the coverage. Now, he's still going to be working from ESPN. Like most of them keep saying, he's still going to have a job, but he's out. And they're going to have Jason Kelsey come in and take his spot. Now, of course, if you look at the careers of both men, a lot of people like Jason Kelsey, and there's people who do like RG3, but there's a lot of people who don't like him. But that's not even the point. When you compare NFL careers, of course, Jason Kelsey is going to go to the Hall of Fame. He was a great center. The Kelsey name has been bolstered by his brother, who's a great tight end. The fact that they have Taylor Swift in their corner and all that, And of course, if you're going to say there's a racial component, well, and on a tangential level, of course, there is, because, he might appeal to more people because he's white, but that's probably because there's more white people. And the fact is that RG3 doesn't endear himself to them as much as a Jason Kelsey does, in general. And there's probably a fair amount of black folks who don't mind this change either. I don't really care. I'm not a RG3 hater, but I think this was just a business move. Kelsey is getting paid a bundle, and they got to put him to work. So that's what they're going to do. So that's pretty much what I'm talking about in the NFL because, all right, we're still off season and, things are starting to happen for the NFL, but it's still off season time. All right. So NBA talk, right? All right. So now here's the NBA and the playoffs are in full swing. Everybody, I'm enjoying the playoff basketball. And of course, if we go by each quarterfinals, Boston is leading their series. They're up 3-1 over the Cavs. It's clear that Boston is a better team. Even though, I like the Cavs and they're doing okay. Mitchell, is a very good basketball player, but he can't lift the Cavs. And he won't lift them past Boston. The New York Knicks and Brunson right now is playing at a very, very high level. So the Knicks are a better team than Indiana, but they're not out of the woods. They got to bring that shit home and win that series. So they don't want it to go 7. Yeah, I'm sure they don't. It might, but I for their sake, they don't really want this shit to go 7. They want to end this series, and they'll be playing in Indiana next. So don't be trying to say, well, we want to bring it home to New York, Madison Square Garden. If you can end it as soon as you can. Don't play around with these guys. OKC and the Mavs, right? That series is 2-2. And the Mavs have a chance to win that series. I think OKC again was favored, but the Mavs has a very, very good chance to win that series. Kyrie's playing at a high level. Even Luka's playing at a high level. Their supporting cast is playing very well. So I expect that series to go 7. I expect that to go 7. And the Wolves in Denver, well, the Wolves started out hot. They won 2 games in Denver. But after that, Denver came on and Jokic is playing, the joke is playing his butt off. I mean, it's just clear that right now he's the best player playing in the NBA. We talk about those MVPs and all that horse shit, but it's well deserved. You really, really can't argue that he doesn't deserve that MVP. Some people say he should be going on his 4th in a row. That when they gave it to Embiid, that was like a mercy lay, right? If you ever had a lady give you some mercy sex, that's what that was. So that was a mercy give. And even though Embiid had a great year, people could still say that Jokic probably should have won that year as well. So he would have 4 in a row. And the thing I think that gets people the most is that most people know he could walk away from the game and never look back, right? He plays the game at such a high level, but he's not obsessive about the game, right? He really isn't. I mean, he could take the game, he could take or leave the daggone game. That's what it sounds like to me, right? It doesn't seem like he really, hey, man, you know what? If it's time to move on, I'm going to move on. All right. So this is what he did in the last game. 40, 13, and no turnovers. I mean, he was on fire. Right. I mean, nobody could really say anything. The band was just absolutely on fire. So I want to go through some of the highlights. Fair use. Just so people could see some of the stuff that this man was doing.
The MVP trophy is a 3-inch career for Nicole Jokic, the commissioner here. So Justin Howard has come in. So loving that game for a couple of days ago. Right here, giving the post. Watch him do his dance, no problem. Jokic, Gobert is there. Touching in his elbows, and it's Jokic's Watch Joker right here, the patience. He's begging, and then he's looking for the double team. Doesn't come out the left hand right here. And a good start. And a good start. Denver does a wiggle. They have Murray set the pick and roll. He doesn't want to switch from 3-point territory with 5 threes. He's got 4. Just back to the fifth. Who's next in this series? Races to play the 2 best games in the playoffs. In games 3 and 4 on the road. What a start for Jokic. To have his way here. Reeves goes for the steal. Jokic makes him pay. 5 to 9 from distance. 2-2 around the center from Jackson. Coming over the top. Second 14. Here comes Williams floating inside. In from the rebound. That's Jackson. Timberwolves have lost 2 consecutive games. They did not lose 3 games in a row all season long. Shot clock at 5. Murray. Great pass to the
Well, this is just a pure, butt beating, man, by Jokic. Everybody saw it. The man was just absolutely on fire. He had 40 points, and they were tied up. Now they're up 3-2, and there's a chance that Minnesota is not going to win the game 6. This may not go 7, even after a 2-0 start on Denver's floor. This might not go 6. All right, Jalen Brunson, right? So I have a question for the audience out there. This guy is playing point guard at actually, I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer. Okay, so let's not get wrong, but he's playing Hall of Fame level basketball right now. In the playoffs right now, can you name a point guard who's playing better than him? Kyrie Irving? Well, yeah. I mean, anybody would pick Kyrie over Brunson, if you had to just pick him. But if you had to take the rest of the baggage and all that kind of stuff, who would you want to lead your team from a consistency standpoint? Kyrie, who's playing absolutely phenomenal right now, and he might get Denver through the playoffs. Not Denver, I mean, he might get Dallas past, OKC, but still, Brunson is just playing out of this world. And you can see that the Knicks are a completely different team when he has the ball in his hands, right? I mean, they're completely different. I mean, the way the Knicks play when he's behind the court, when he's behind the ball, leading that team, his mid-range game is, for his size, is phenomenal. He's got a great jump shot. He's got a decent, he can hit those threes, so you can't stay off of him. He's been phenomenal. Now it's just, and it's not just, I mean, this is playoff Brunson, and people say, well, it's not a thing, like the commercial. Oh, it's a thing. Oh, it's a thing. And he's playing his ass off, and it's been a long time for Knicks fans to see somebody who's standing up, playing Hall of Fame level basketball for the New York Knicks. And remember now, the Knicks are shorthanded. Big time. They're shorthanded. If they had their full squad, I don't think this series will even be as tight as it is right now. I'm pretty sure that the Knicks would have already been going on to the next round. Now, we want to see them against Boston. And so we can have another conversation as to whether they could actually beat Boston and go to the championship game. Now, I have Boston going to the finals. I have Boston going to the finals, and it's a good chance it's going to be Boston playing Denver in the finals. Now, I want Boston to win the whole thing, but if Denver gets back to the finals with Jokic, the Boston has absolutely no answer for that boy. None. So it'll be interesting to see how this thing might play out. All right. Hey, listen, so I heard something on the radio. I would like to say that this was my idea, but it's not, right? We all know that Jalen Rose takes pride in saying he was the first Jalen, and now there's like 32 Jalens all over the NBA and other professional sports. There's a lot of Jalens out there. Now, I mean, the name is okay, but so now there's so many Jalens. The question is, well, who's the best Jalen? In the NBA, right? If you had to pick 5 Jalens in the NBA, who do you think is the best Jalen? All right. So listen, just like I should have told people, make sure you hit the like button coming in. Hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. And stay to the end because there's a lot of different things I talk about on these sports show. And I put it all together so we could talk about a lot of different things going on. So a lot of my partners who usually come up and be my partners in crime, they aren't available today. But just like any sports show, you got to be able to do it alone. And then and then when you have company, that just makes it a little bit better. So anyway, let's go through the list. Who's the best Jalen out there? Right? You got a Jalen Duran, right? And I never, really seen this guy play. He's a 6'10" center. He's 20 years old. He's like already a double machine. And even though and the reason why most of us don't know him, because he's playing for Detroit, which is a terrible basketball team. And of course, they, hopefully they'll be a little bit better next year when the season starts. But right now, they're just one horrible team. Of course, there's Jalen Williams. He's out of OKC. He's 23 years old. He's a scoring machine. And he's still playing in the playoffs right now. So if you want to see a Jalen in the West, you got one, right? He's in OKC, and he's a young man. He's 23 years old. So these are young dudes, right? Most of the Jalens you're going to see are young dudes, okay? Then there's Jalen Green. Now, Jalen Green, if you didn't know, is from, he's on the Rockets. And, of course, he's famous for impregnating, a chick who's old enough to be his mother. She's almost 40 years old. And he's going to have 2 babies within a few months because he not only has Drea, Michelle, there's some other woman, of course, pregnant as well. And maybe a couple. I think he might have 3 kids in the next year or so. So he's popping them out. And, of course, just like most of the young NBA players, he's an idiot when it comes to protecting the seed. And he was used by an older lady, Drea Michelle, to secure her bag well into her late 50s, 60 years old, based on the child support she's going to demand from him. And he's he has a potential to be a great player. So he might be playing basketball for the next minimum 10 to 15 years if he doesn't get hurt. Or he doesn't do something really stupid. Right? And he's already done something really stupid, but I'm talking about stupid that might kick him out of the league. But one of the things these young guys don't understand, they're getting these chicks pregnant and paying the bag, paying taxes, and maybe not paying taxes, and you don't know, and spending your money willy-nilly and not knowing the difference between, controlling your seed and how much of a drain, baby mamas might be on you, especially when your money is not going to be last forever. You're not going to be making it at that level forever. But the courts may try to make you pay top dollar throughout your whole life until those kids are gone. So he's signing up for 18 to 21 years, most likely 21 years, of giving at least, maybe giving away around $200,000 a year, maybe more, maybe $300,000 a year to women that he'll probably have nothing to do with after they have the babies other than to go pick up the kids once in a while, pat them on the head, and just keep moving. So he's an idiot, but he's a Jalen. And then there's Jaylen Brown for Boston, okay? He also is pretty much an idiot as well. I think he's hooked up with a woman, Bonice Burgos. She's beautiful, but she's well into her 40s. She's been dotting it up for her whole life. I think he's dealing with her. I don't know whether he wants kids or a family or not, but she's not going to be the one to give it to him. But again, that really doesn't matter to these guys. I think they'll find a woman to pop the baby out. They'll pay for the baby just to keep their bloodline going. So, there you have it. You can't really police another man's Johnson. I was thinking about this same issue, and I'll get back to it. With a guy like Carmelo Anthony and Lala Anthony. And I was saying, what's the dynamics? This guy was cheating on her forever. She knew it. Most women who marry NBA players, They know that these guys are banging out women 2, 3 at a time when they're on the road, maybe more. And so they have these unwritten rules, probably like, hey, listen, don't bring me home no diseases. Don't uh, disrespect me in public. Don't let everybody see you out there with another woman on your arms. If you're gonna bang them out, but don't disrespect me as your wife. And number one, don't get another one of these heifers pregnant. And so nobody talks about it that much, but I don't think it was just a rumor. Carmelo got another woman pregnant, and that was the last straw for Lala, right? But I have a feeling that Carmelo said, listen, I only got one kid out of you, right? And I'm not so sure what the circumstances are, but the chances are if he only had one kid with Lala, probably wasn't his idea. Probably wasn't his idea. So he probably wanted more than one kid as a legacy to leave all the shit he accomplished to. Why just leave it to? Why just have one kid? Right? I'm surprised he didn't make that mistake more than once. But, so I think that might have played into it. I'm reading all of this stuff into it myself. But let's get back to the Jalen's. Jalen Brunson right now is the best Jalen in NBA. Some people say he might even be the best point guard right now in the NBA. And who could argue? I think he's at 6 40-point games in the playoffs. And he's only played around 10 in his whole career. 6 40-point games. So the guy is playing way up there. He's only 27. Jalen Brown is only 27. Jalen Green's 22, by the way. He popped out. He popped his mother, his thought mother, Jay or Michelle, up with a baby when he was only 21. And but she knew that was coming because I think she kind of foreshadowed that she wanted another kid. So she got it. All right, WNBA talk. So I'm gonna give, so even if the ladies don't respect themselves as much as they should, I'm gonna give the WNBA a little bit of talk, right? Because I think they're moving forward, and now that a couple of college graduates have gone to the WNBA to shoot new life into them. One, of course, is Caitlin Clark. I call her the Messiah for the whole league. There's a lot of jealousy, a lot of hatred against Caitlin Clark. And, of course, and then there's Angel Reese, who's nowhere near as skilled as Caitlin Clark, but she's a woman. She's feminine. She likes fashion. And she brings the kind of pizzazz to the WNBA that they so sorely lack. Nobody likes to see these hard-leg butchers walking around and stuff like that. They want to see femininity. They don't want to see skill. They want to see femininity against arrogance. They want to see femininity against this whole horseshit narrative about, paid equality. You can't get equality of being paid if nobody's watching. So that brings me to this question. Are the veteran women of the WABA getting ready to fumble the bag with their hatred of Caitlin Clark and the attention that she's getting? And for a lady like Asia Wilson coming out and say she's only getting her attention because she's white, which may not be absolutely wrong, but it's why she's getting the attention because she's white. Because, there's more eyes coming on the game because she's white. There's more white people who might want to see it now that they have somebody they can relate to. They can't relate to all you fucking chicks out there, black chicks, walking around in men's suits and shit like that. And a lot of people can't relate to that shit. No matter how much DEI bullshit and identity politics you want to say, not to mention also the quality of the game. But they needed somebody they can sink their teeth into. And just like feminine women who might like sports, they want to see somebody who wants to be fashion. What you going to wear next, Rochelle Angel Reese. What you going to wear next? So let's talk about it. Here's one guy, and this I don't agree with him 100%, and I'll tell you why. But I'm going to let you listen to this guy about the WNBA women getting ready to fumble the bag.
For the first time in its entire existence, the WNBA has something it hasn't had before, a marketable superstar that has brought widespread interest to the league. That superstar is Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark, who made a name for herself while playing college ball for the Iowa Hawkeyes by shooting threes from Steph Curry range and making it look easy. But before she even played a regular season game, WNBA stars were attacking her and saying she's only popular because of her skin color. From MRC TV, I'm John Simmons and welcome to the Wolf Roll of Sports. Asia Wilson plays for the Las Vegas Aces, and she's accomplished pretty much everything possible in her collegiate, WNBA, and international career. She's an excellent player by all accounts, but she hasn't received a fraction of the attention that Clark has. Unsurprisingly, she sees that as a byproduct of racism and said that Clark is getting so much attention because she's white. I think a lot of people may say it's not about black and white.
Hey, man, what's going on, man?
It really is.
What's up, Rich?
I'm not sure who you are as a black woman, but yet maybe that's...
Oh, you're pause, man. I'm talking about... Hold on for a second. Let me stop this for a second.
Hard I work. It doesn't matter what we all do as black women. We're still going to be...
Yo, man, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, man? Everything's cool here, man. Apologize for...
No, man, that's all right. Hey, you know, what I was doing is going over... I'm at the WNBA, right? So we're talking about... The question on the floor is, and you can see this on the screen, is are the veteran women for the WNBA getting ready to fumble the bag because they hate Caitlin Clark? And is there some racial undertones? Right? And so it's a good question because you're hearing women like Asia Wilson and a lot of them coming out and saying the only reason why she's popular is because she's white and all this kind of stuff. And then I'm playing this little clip here about this guy talking about the controversy. Now he says something that I don't agree with, so I'm gonna just get it started again. And this
for the first time, I hate to burst Wilson's bubble, but the popularity disparity she's seeing here has nothing to do with skin color. People love Clark because she can shoot from insane distances and make her shot.
See, just you know, my timing is impeccable. When he says it has nothing to do with skin color. I hate when white people say shit like this, okay? Because it absolutely does have something to do with her skin color, but not for the reasons he's saying. It has something to do with her skin color. It's because Caitlin Clark is opening up the door to a whole new segment of fans who would not otherwise watch the WNBA with all the big ass chicks they got walking around looking like men.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know what I'm saying? If I'm a regular white person, you know, I can't relate to all these chicks walking around, you know, with their backs hunching and holding their Johnsons and shit. I want to, you know, so she comes in, she got a little bit of, she could play ball and she's relatable to the kind of young ladies that they know next door.
No, I hear you. And if you look at just, because I did a little bit of research just to see what the viewership was last night.
Right.
And, you know, this was an estimate. So
she provides significant.
Go ahead, keep going.
They were talking about how the Fever game in the Sun, they had estimated that it was 1.7 million viewers, right?
Wow.
The NHL playoffs, the Bruins and the Panthers, Game 5, on at the same time, was 1.69 million viewers. So the WNBA game last night eclipsed the NHL playoffs by just a bit. But then the NBA game with the Pacers and the Knicks was 3.96 million viewers. So it's still 2x plus the women's game, but it shows that the WNBA is very, very popular. So you had basically 1 in 3 people who were interested in basketball were watching the WNBA.
There you go. And, you know, and listen, you know, the only thing I would say, so I disagree with the guy when he said that, because I agree with him up to that point, because I do think a lot of the WNBA players are going to fumble the bag without understanding that her being there and Rochelle, and not Rochelle, I keep saying Rochelle Reach, but what's it, Reese, what's her name? Reese, whatever her name is, right? She's the black chick with the fascination, right? A lot of people like her because she's all feminine, right? And she can't play like Caitlyn, but at least she looks like a woman. You know, she gives some femininity to the league, right? And she's not bad. Anyway, so I just think that I think the women, if they keep talking bad about her, they're going to hurt their own brand because if she can get more money and more eyes, they're already starting to change the way they travel. More money is flown into the league, which is going to benefit them all. So they should just shut the hell up.
Yeah, you got to look at the big picture.
Yes.
Over time, with the additional sponsorships, with twice, 3 times the viewership, the sponsors are going to pay more money, and that's going to trickle down to the players eventually.
But let me tell you, you know what? I really have a little faith in Black Girl Magic, man. I'm telling you. I think they're going to keep talking. And, she had a so-so game. She eventually had 20-something points, I think.
Yeah.
But she had 10 turnovers, and that's all they're talking about is the 10 turnovers.
Yeah, that's a lot of turnovers. I did watch, a bit of it. The start of the WNBA game, but then I switched over to the Knicks. So
of course. Hey, let me go back for a second. Right, I had this. I don't know if you saw this part.
No,
I was this one. I said, Jalen Rose takes pride in being the starting the Jalen craze. So if that's true, who are the best Jalen's in the league? What are your top 5 Jalen's? You know what I'm saying?
That's funny. That's funny.
So you got Jalen Duran. I mean, he was 20 years old, but he's a walking double-double for the Pistons. But the Pistons are so bad, nobody even knew this guy. 6'10" center, a rebounding machine. And right now, he's 20 years old. He'll be 21 next season. Jalen Williams he's playing with OKC. He's a scoring machine. Then you got Jalen Green, and of course, he's famous for impregnating the dot of the year, Drayla Michelle. I don't know if she had a baby yet, but she might. She's like 40 years old. So at 21, he gets a 40-year-old woman pregnant. So she's secured the bag for the next 20 years, 21 years. And but just like, never to fail, he got another girl pregnant at the same time. So I think he's going to have 2 babies within a month or 2.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, man, the guys are
and
just.
Then with OKC, you got, as they say, the other Jalen Williams too. You got 2 Jalen Williamses on.
That's
OKC,
right. That's right.
Yeah, but if I had to pick my Jalen there, certainly Brunson, but I would go with Brown
over Jalen Brunson.
I think I would.
Oh my God!
Really watching Brunson last night. He's He's a vacuum. He's a vacuum cleaner. The ball goes to him. The other 4 guys just kind of put their hands in their pockets. I'd have to look to see what his assist numbers are. Never really studied that, but he's a vacuum cleaner. Black hole.
Come on, man. Are you kidding me? I mean, he's doing what he listen, when he's not on the floor, man, his point, the Knicks point total go down.
Yeah. But what was that one stat, they were talking about last night where he scored 40 points in 5 games or something in the series or something like that.
Yeah.
And it hadn't been done since 1965.
That's right.
That tells you something.
It tells you that the rest of the team needs somebody to score. Remember now, the Knicks are also hurt, man. A lot of their players are.
They are.
So, I mean, that's what I think he just says, you know what? I understand I need to get all these guys involved. But when Julius Randle was there, his scoring wasn't like that. Yeah. When, so with these guys, he said, man, shit, you know what? I could be a point guard or we could win the game.
Yeah.
And that Vincenzo, man, whatever his name is, he's not a bad player, man. That guy,
he's a good ball player.
Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Warriors let him go. But I look at his style of play. And I can see where that would not work in Golden State, right? Because, you know, he'll take the 3-pointer when he's open. He'll take it. But he can't do that with Golden State, obviously. So,
no. Yeah, if somebody's taking
he's a good ball player.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of shit with him. What's the next thing I have? So that was the WNBA. Baseball we talked about last week. That's just the stats. You know, right now it's still too early talking baseball. The NHL, I just kind of following the daggone tagline. You know, who's winning the series? Of course, you know, Dallas. The Oilers is tied. Boston's up 3-2. The Rangers are up 3-2. So, you know, I mean, I guess sooner or later it's going to get exciting, I guess, if they get to the championship. But I'm still not into hockey just yet.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what's the last time you watched a hockey game.
Nah, I'll usually tune in game 6 or 7, you know, of the Stanley Cup Finals. I'll tune in at that point.
Yeah, that's me too. So I mean, it's just it is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. So other sports. Okay. So we talked a little about her, and we don't have to go back through this, but everybody's focusing on the 10 turnovers, and not necessarily the fact that she had they lost it and the team lost. You know, so her debut, they would say, would have mixed messages. So, you know, I mean, 10 turnovers is a lot, but if that in the context of you being nervous, you know, I can't imagine maybe a few of the ladies in the WNBA had some alligator arms and shit and lost the ball on purpose. I hate to say that, but you know, I say, man, how come you didn't catch that pass? You know, so I don't know. I don't think they did that, but still, you know, she had to have some nerve. She's human.
Well, yeah, for certain. A completely different environment, and you know, her coach was somewhat critical of her. I read an article about 4 or 5 days ago where, you know, after one preseason game, her Indiana Fever coach was critical of her. You know, saying that she's got to break some old habits of just taking these long shots. Well, that's what got her there, you know.
Yeah. Okay. All of a sudden, now you're going to try to turn her into a mid-range shooter? Stop.
Yeah.
You know, why do you draft her? But you know, she you know what? One game, she still got the ball in the hoop. She took some serious shots too. But all right, so that brings us to Bronny, man. Bronny James. Let me ask you a question. Should he have stayed in college?
I think it's probably best that he comes out, because had he stayed another year and he still scored 4.5 points a game, then he may not have any chance at that point in the NBA. Now, granted, because of his name, he's going to always have a chance, but, you know, they're talking he's going to go in the second round, right? So, you know, I'm sure he'll take that.
All right. So, well, that's one. The two, it seems like he didn't get any grace for almost dying on a court.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The heart attack. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, no, you know, I mean, it's like he's not getting any grace for coming back from a traumatic experience like that.
I completely forgot about it.
That's why nobody's talking about that.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Did the guy almost die?
That was a story for months, a year, basically.
Absolutely, man. So I'm saying, what the hell's going on with these people, man? I mean, even if you listen, even if I don't want to blame it on that, because they gave him a bill of goods to play, but psychologically and everything else, are you really over it that fast?
Yeah, I think the difference here is, you know, with Bronny's situation, nobody saw it. You know, 10, 20 people saw it. Whereas with DeMar Hamlin, obviously, millions of people saw it. And
but
so it's almost like a tree fell in the forest and nobody heard it.
Yeah, but except that tree, his father's name is LeBron.
Yeah, but hey, I completely forgot about it. I haven't thought about it in months.
Yeah. So I mean, first of all, I hear he's doing pretty well in the combine.
Yeah, I've heard the
You
same
know,
thing.
yeah, some of his, he got some of those other skills. He's got a good leaping ability. And and I saw some of his combine games, which won't tell you much. But it's not like if you know how to play ball, you know how to play ball with pros. Now the other question is, who's going to draft him, and does that mean LeBron's going to leave the Lakers?
Well, I did hear an interview with Bronny earlier today. I guess it was from last night, and he basically said it wasn't his dream to play with his dad. He said that. Those were almost his exact words. Of course, it's LeBron's dream, maybe, and everybody else's dream, but not necessarily his. So,
well, you know what? That's not unusual because that's what I'm saying. But that's another question, right? Is the pressure LeBron put on him fair? LeBron, I mean, I think this whole thing is LeBron's doing, even with his other son. Now, this feeling out there, his other son is even better than him. He's taller. And he said he's pretty good, but he ain't getting it. But I don't know whether he doesn't get the spotlight. I don't know how much younger he is, but he's not in the same spotlight as Bronny. And maybe his mother has something to do with that. But he plays pretty well, and he's a little taller. Kind of like LaMelo Ball's younger brother who plays for Charlotte. He's actually a very good basketball player.
He is. He definitely is.
He's pretty damn good. Now they need to get, hopefully he's using like regulation sneakers instead of the bullshit that his father's giving him. Because I think that some people said those shoes is what really hurt Melo.
Yeah. Ball. Yeah, they just were quality.
Yeah, weren't quality. You gotta, if you with all the, you never realize how much talk these guys put on those damn shoes.
Yeah.
They're not the regular shit you go to the store and buy. So his.
But you mentioned that LeBron's
younger son. Keep going. Let me turn this down for a second. Yeah, give me some love. You say what?
But you mentioned that LeBron's younger son is probably the better prospect, right? That's basically what you're saying.
Yes.
Bronny.
Yeah.
But, it kind of reminds me of the situation with Venus and Serena. And I'm only getting this from, watching a movie, right? Whereby their father realized that Serena was the better talent. But with Venus being older a couple of years, he kept Serena in the background and pumped up Venus, right? Being that she was older, knowing that eventually Serena was going to get her day. So it was a good strategy by, I think his name was Richard, right? Richard Williams.
Yeah. Well, let me put it to you this way: if it wasn't for Serena, right, Venus would be. Well, she already is amongst one of the greats. I mean, everybody keeps forgetting she's got like 7 world champions.
Yeah, Grand Slams or whatever.
Grand Slam.
Yeah.
She owned the Wimbledon. Between her and Serena, they owned Wimbledon for almost 10 years.
Right, but when you pit Serena versus Venus,
oh yeah, she was a better player, no doubt.
Much better player, and he recognized that even when they were 10, 12 years old, and he kind of kept Serena in the background, which was good. So maybe that's what's happening here with the James boys, whereby the younger one is a better prospect, but strategy says, hey, you're going to get your day. Let's pump up Bronny for now.
That could be it. That could be it. And so it's less pressure on him to come out, and he could just play for more love. Yes. But you could tell, I'm thinking, just like what Bronny said that, you could tell that some of this stuff he's doing because his father wants it. And, I mean, actually he has enough skill. If you could make a few $1 million on your own playing ball, I don't think even if he does play, he won't have a very long career. I don't think. Unless there's like a transformation once he gets to the pros. Mm-hmm. But right now, I think he's going to be headed for the G League.
Yeah, most likely.
And
6'1", there aren't a lot of 6'1" players in the NBA anymore.
No, yeah, but you have to be exceptional.
Yeah.
If you're not, if you're 6'1", you got to be exceptional.
Yeah,
You
you
can't.
got to be Jalen Brunson, basically.
Yeah, they have him listed at 6'2", but
Yeah.
All right, so I keep talking about these. I'm going through my boxing thing, and a lot of people don't know this guy in Anoya Inoue, and the only reason why people don't know it is because he's small. He's a light featherweight, but this guy is just awesome, man. Now
Right now doesn't seem spooked by the punchy power.
So that's him. He gets knocked down.
See a small uppercut right there, but you see when Inoue tends to throw one hand, that left hand, the opposite hand tends to drop. Poor fundamental habits right there. When Inoue commits, he's out of position. Neri again on the attack, coming forward, reaching with that left hand. You see a forward shift. And Inoue right there just filling that gap. Look right hand. Inoue now is getting
and I've been watching so much MMA lately. When I saw the guy punching and knocking him down, I was wondering why he didn't pounce on him. Don't forget, this is boxing, different rules, right?
Just taking advantage of those more fundamental habits.
Watch it. That's it. That's it.
He dropped it.
Look at him.
30 seconds to go. Facing one of the great closers in recent boxing history. Here comes the monster.
The monster.
Still good for the moment.
He comes in the storm. You see right there. Just found a little gap right there. Lead hand is down with Neri. On the inside. Inoue noticing that. He attempted there. Just missed
That's
the
a
mark, but he
funny
did
place to
under.
put the daggone replay.
He's looking right at Neri. He sees those hands.
Oh, yeah. Right in back.
Distance like that. That much torque. That much power. It's brilliant stuff right there from Inoue. Seeing something that offensive.
He's hurt again. Oh.
What do you see as a potential finisher here, Tim?
Yeah,
And everything in boxing, is pretty much a headshot now, right? There's I didn't see really any body blows or anything like that. It was all shots to the head.
Yeah. So have you ever heard of? Yeah, man. But this guy Inoue, man, he is tough, man. So if he could fight at least to lightweight, then more people will know about him. So that's almost 10 pounds he got to put on. And of course, if he don't take his power with him, that's not going to be good. But that guy is something else, man. I've seen a lot of his fights. Now you've heard of Lomachenko, right? Have you heard of him?
Uh-huh.
So he's fighting Gambosis, and
Then he is going backwards. He has exactly what he has. Campos is exactly where he needs him right now.
3-punch combination coming to the end of round number 1. Lomachenko.
And get away with shots. Nice body shot right there from Campos.
Oh, good exchange to close out the third. Look at this stuff. In recent fights that he has admitted to. Oh, that's a good combination up top. I see it's hunting Campos.
One punch at a time is not going to do it.
Lomachenko successful on the inside. Short left hand on the inside. Goes back to the head. Loma is in control at the end of 7.
Again, Campos is just way too low. Ooh, good shot. I like that. Good shot right there to the body. But Shakur Stevenson, I mean,
Crumbled him.
body
Body
shot
shot.
scores the knockdown in the 11th. As if the damage to the eye isn't enough, Loma says take that to the body, and now he looks to close it.
They threw the towel in,
Threw
too.
it in. Yeah, you don't see that.
Some
often.
body shots, man. Went to the
There's the body shot.
Ooh.
There's the body shot right there. There it is. Wow. There's the body shot.
I mean, you getting hit. If you get hit in that solar plexus,
Ooh.
I don't care how buff you are, you're going down.
Ooh.
Again, going downstairs. Trust me, if you get hit with a body shot,
Man, shoot. I tell you what, man. About you figure these guys train to get hit in the body, right?
Yeah.
But no, man, absolutely not, man. So you get hit the right way in the body, man. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. Because usually you're protecting your head. You know,
Right.
you got your gloves up under your chin, and yeah, you kind of forget about the body.
Exactly. So what we got next is Tyson Fury, Beterbiev, and Bivol. That's going to be a good fight, man. Those two guys, man, they're going to be throwing some serious leather at each other. Then Deontay Wilder, who I think is washed up, and Iron Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, man. You know, 50-something-year-old Iron Mike. I think Jake. Listen, one of the things that happens, they say though, and I think it's true, that you don't lose your punching power. You might not have the stamina to go that long, but if he hits my man Jake Paul, who ain't never been hit by a guy like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I could believe that. I mean, your punching power still basically stays with you. Yeah.
Guess where that's going to be at? It's going to be on Netflix.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's a Netflix, man. So if you got Netflix,
Got it.
Netflix is going to show 2 NFL games too.
Yeah. So, pretty soon, 5 years from now, everything's going to be on
Streaming. Something
Yeah.
streaming.
Yeah.
I mean, the regular networks are going to pretty much die, man, because they each all have streaming services, right? Nobody's putting any real special movies or anything on regular TV.
Right.
They're streaming them. So even a series, if you maybe a day delayed, they have those things streaming on the streaming services. And people say, shit, man, why should I watch commercial TV? I could just go ahead and stream and try to bypass past the commercials and all that kind of stuff. So even with your DVR, right? I pretty much, if I have a show that I like on TV, I just DVR it so I can just fast forward through the commercials.
Yeah, I do the same thing, like watch 60 Minutes or something like that, or Meet the Press, just DVR it.
Here you go with the cerebral shit, man. I talk about mindless shit that I'm watching, and you watching 60 Minutes and Meet the Press. I'm talking about your SVU, Law and Order and shit, stupid shit like that.
I DVR some of that stuff too.
You know what? I haven't seen Meet the Press or 60 Minutes. It's been probably a year or so last time I seen 60 Minutes.
Well,
so I shouldn't be telling it myself, man.
One of the reasons I kind of like Meet the Press, because they say it's one of the longest shows in television.
Oh yes.
And, in high school, went to Catholic high school, and we had to do this communications project.
Okay.
And me and this other guy, we did Meet the Priests.
Oh, man.
So we had the priests, we interviewed them and all that kind of stuff, and it was modeled after Meet the Press. So that's one of the reasons why I continue to watch it.
Yeah, man. I was meant to call you, man. Listen, so anything else, any part shots about some sports, man, that you might want to say? That's, what you're watching now is a little bit of NBA playoffs, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah. The playoffs have been great. They really have been. It's just disappointing to see, like the Lakers with the talent that they have, the big two, not be in there, and the Clippers with the talent that they have.
Oh my God.
And they get knocked out, so. And then the same thing is true with Philadelphia. So when are these teams, those three teams, well, I'll exclude the Lakers because at least they won it a couple of years ago. But the Clippers and the Sixers, when are they going to get over the hump?
Yeah, and every year it gets a little worse. If you think about it, I mean, your team is built to win, but you know, every year that you ain't winning, you know, you're not going to come back stronger because those younger teams, especially in the West, are getting better.
Yeah.
But you know, okay, what do you think about Jokic and his next? Yeah, first of all, some people think he should have won 4 in a row.
Oh, MVP. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, Shy, I would have loved to have seen him win the MVP. You know, kind of mix it up a little bit.
Well, see, that's not what it's supposed. Listen, I hear where you're coming from, but didn't he lose to Embiid because they wanted to mix it up a little bit?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You know, I mean, Embiid had a great year, but you know, stat for stat, his year probably wasn't better than Jokic's.
True. Jokic is he's a talent. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, man.
A very unique talent.
I think probably unique is the word because you know what? Because he could walk away from the game and don't give a shit about it.
Right. He's got that demeanor about him.
He could, I mean, they even make a commercial about it. You know, it ain't a thing, man. You know,
right.
But when is the parade? I want to go home.
I want to go home.
Just, he doesn't care. You know, he's at the press conference, man. Do you think because of this and that? He said, nah, that shit gonna help you, man.
Yeah.
You're going to play the game or you're not. I mean, the guy is just so stoic about the game. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to see in a way. Because,
actually, it is. They're marketing that now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you could market that like, what do you think about the NBA? Oh, yeah, you just throw the ball through the hoop, man. That's all.
Right. Yeah, he comes across as if he does not care.
I can't believe they're paying me for this, man.
Yeah.
He's a great player, though, man. He's an absolutely great player. I mean, and you know, he looks because he doesn't play athletic like the black players, but his footwork is impeccable down low.
It is.
And his passing, his vision on the court, all that stuff, man. You know, he's almost impossible to guard down low, and he can shoot.
Yeah, he's got a variety of moves. You know, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
he's going up against Gobert most of the time.
Yeah. So anyway, man, so that's good, man. It's good to see. It's the truth is it's refreshing to mix it up. I'm one of the rare. I'm not saying maybe I'm not rare. I always thought that opening up basketball to the European players was one of the best things that ever happened to the NBA.
Yeah, I think so.
You know, because you always need challenges. You know. And if they want to save the All-Star game, very next year, they better have the NBA against the world.
That'll be interesting to see. Because you got the top 3 or 4 players if you include Embiid and Jokic.
And, he's playing for the Americans, for the Olympics. Yeah. But in the All-Star game, I think if you got Shake, Gilchrist, you have all of these foreign players, man.
Yeah, the Greek Freak.
The Greek Freak, yeah, all these guys.
I'm not certain who would the U.S. even have, you know?
That's true. That's true, man. They got. I mean, so if you think about Siakam, OG, I mean, you got a lot of guys who are foreign players, and you wouldn't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
And it would automatically make the All-Star game better.
It would.
They would not be bullshit. Mm-hmm. It would be good from start to finish because the competition because you're playing for something. People say, well, just up the purse. These guys don't give a shit about money like that.
No.
That's not going to make them play better. They're already making $50 million a year.
Right. Yeah, because the last All-Star game, I didn't watch it. I missed it. But if I'm not mistaken, one of the winning teams scored 200 points or something crazy.
Yeah. It was ridiculous, man. Yeah. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was a shame to watch.
Yeah, it was a layup line.
Essentially, that's all it was. There was no competition whatsoever. And the guys are making a mockery of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, and, I mean, the fans were there just to have a good time. So that's what it turned out to be. Just, people just seeing how high you could score. But the game wasn't competitive at all. So basically, so, I mean, okay, so the basketball season's over in June. right? I think the last games are played in June, so and then we still got like a month of limbo before we get into the preseason game for football.
Yep.
I don't think even with Caitlin Clark, even though the WNBA is going to be a little bit more exciting, it's not going to make me into a fan.
No, it's going to wear off after the first month or so. It'll wear down
unless they market it properly.
Yeah.
Like for example, Angel Reese, that's what her name is. When they play against Minnesota, that game is probably going to get some good ratings.
Mm-hmm.
And they just got to market the damn thing better. I mean, I know a lot of people don't want to say it, but the massive amount of lesbianism and butchery in the WNBA hurts the league. It just does. It doesn't appeal to a mass audience.
Yeah.
And those
it just thing that hurts, hurts them is you're playing in the middle of the summer, right? And the baseball is going on middle of the summer, but that's the pastime. Most people are out and about. They're not watching basketball, in the middle of July or the middle of June. They're out and about. So I think that's another thing that hurts them. I guess they have no other option because you can't go head to head with the NBA. I mean, you are now, but when your championship is being played in the WNBA, you don't want any competition from other sports.
I agree with you.
Window of opportunity.
I don't even know how many games they play in a season. Is it 32? Something like that? Less?
That's a good question.
I gotta find, shoot, man. I'm the guy with the sports show, man. I should know that, right? I guess I gotta go do some reason. Well, how many games do they play in the WNBA, in the season?
Because the college, they play about 30, right?
That's right. Now they do, of course. Before it was a lot less, man. They play so many games now. But you're right. So I think they play, I think it's in the 30s or something like that. But then they go into the playoffs. And but they just started this season right now. So it's May. So they're gonna play all summer. And I forgot when the championships. I'm gonna have to get that. I'm gonna make sure I figure that out.
I just looked it up real quick. For 2023, it was 40 games.
Okay,
they increased the number of games each year. So 2021 it was 32, 22 it was 36. Last year was 40.
Wow.
So that's probably the right number,
Yeah, I hope they don't go too much over 40, man.
Yeah, because
they should just keep it at 40, play those games, and but now I know.
Yeah. Because with the NBA of 82 games, everyone's saying that's too long. That 65 is probably the right number, somewhere in there.
Yeah, but they can never go back though.
No, they can't. They can't.
Right? It's like
unless
baseball.
They're going to raise the ticket prices.
Both raise the ticket prices and lower salaries, which is not going to happen.
Yeah.
So they're just never going to go back. Just like baseball, football, trying to squeeze as much football. We're going to have football almost every day soon.
Yeah.
Right? Because remember, it was just on Monday night, Sunday and Monday. Then now we have Saturday games. Every so often we have the Thanksgiving games. I think they might have a couple of games on a Friday.
Yeah. And they even having one on Christmas this year, which is a Wednesday.
And which was NBA's day.
Yeah, that's right. They're infringing on the NBA's day.
Yeah, that used to be NBA's day, the Christmas game. So, I forgot about that. So Thanksgiving was their day, and Christmas was the NBA's day, and the football league said, you know what?
Move over.
Move over, man. So this, so you got to make sure you had the best matchup. The only thing the NBA did, I think, this year that I really agree with is they started penalizing great players for not playing just because they want to rest.
Yeah.
Right. I think that was something that should have never, Popovich kind of coined that phrase. What do they call it? Load management.
Yeah, load management.
Load management. What a horse crap, man.
Yeah. And he was doing that with Wemby, right?
I mean, okay, Wemby's a rookie, this and that, but can you imagine? And the thing that made me the maddest is that they would load manage when they're on the road. So when you're LeBron and you load managing away from home, the people who want to see you only get one chance to see you.
You 1,000% right, Rich, because Jaron and some of his buddies, they wanted to see Wemby when he came to DC. And they had a game, I think, in Philadelphia the night before, San Antonio, Philadelphia or New York or whatever. So they waited till the last minute to buy the ticket to make sure he was going to play. And luckily he did play. So he got a chance to see him. But, they paid a little bit of a premium waiting till the last minute to get the ticket, so.
Well, they pay premium, a lot of times, depending on who's coming, they pay premium prices anyway.
Yeah.
So they have those variable prices depending on what the game is. If it's Charlotte coming to town, they ain't charging. It's expensive, but they ain't charging the same thing if it was the Lakers.
Yeah, that's true. But I told Yvette and Jerry, I said one of my bucket list things is to go to an NBA game, and have my feet on the court, right? To have that front row seat, right? For an NBA game just once, pay the $3,000 or
what game you talking about? You ain't talking about
Charlotte, right?
Shoot, man. If it's $3,000, you talking about Charlotte and Orlando or something like that.
Yeah.
If you talk about the Knicks and the Lakers, you talk about maybe $10,000.
Precisely. That's out of my league, man. I wouldn't feel good about myself afterwards.
Maybe you hit something, man. The market is doing some things, man. So let me just stick around for a second. Let me end this stream, man. Hey, this is another episode 24 of On the Swivel at the Sports Bar. But I'm gonna end the stream. But hang on for a second.
All right.